If you have been enjoying our content, please consider subscribing to help us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers.
The sky over Varnock 9 burned with twin suns that cast long crimson shadows across the jagged cliffs and thick jungle canopy. Beneath those shadows, something moved, something vast, something feared. The Threxari called it the endling. It did. Not kill for food. It killed because everything that crossed its path ran or screamed. It stood twice the height of a Terran elephant and bore claws that could rend armored scout vehicles in seconds. Heat shimmered around it, as if the air itself feared touching its skin. Its eyes glowed faint gold. It had no known weaknesses, no natural predators. The Threxari lost 6 drones and 3 scouts before they declared it untouchable. From orbit, the jungle looked beautiful, a dark green sea dusted with blue pollen blooms that stirred when the wind howled. But to those watching from the deck of the frigate Talvarin, the jungle was something else, a death trap, especially now. A human had entered it, not just any human, Logan Creed. He was registered as a xenobiologist, 32 Earth years, former Special Forces, dishonorably discharged for reasons scrubbed from the Concord database, now a contracted researcher assigned to Varnock 9 for data collection, flora cataloging, fauna identification, routine fieldwork. He arrived alone. Refused a security team. The Threxari observers noted his arrogance with disdain. He smiled too easily, walked too slowly, wore no armor. He entered the jungle 2 days ago. His biometrics pinged normally for 20 hours, then vanished. Standard. Protocol dictated he be listed KIA, killed in action. Another casualty of apex ignorance. The endling had claimed another fool, except he reappeared, not on foot, not with weapons, but seated calmly beside the endling. He was feeding it. Feeding it raw meat with one gloved hand. His other hand rested on his knee, relaxed, unafraid. The creature towered over him, its jaw open to reveal bone-shearing teeth, but it made no move to bite. It chewed slowly, carefully. The surveillance team aboard the Talvarin played the footage, on loop, again and again. No tech was visible, no sedatives, no shock collar, no tranquilizer darts. A Threxari liaison leaned forward and hissed through his mandibles. "What is he doing?" The ship's xenologist swallowed before answering. "Feeding it," the Threxari hissed again. "No. What is he doing to it?" There was no answer. Down on the jungle floor, Logan sat cross-legged. Sweat poured down his temples, but his face showed no fear. The endling sniffed at him. Logan chuckled and tossed another chunk of meat forward. "Yeah, I know. Not fresh. Sorry. Supplies running low, big guy." The creature made a low, growling noise that trembled through the soil. Logan tossed. "Another piece, don't give me that. You almost took my arm off last time," the creature rumbled again. Logan grinned. "Yeah, I forgave you." 2 days earlier he had not been smiling. He had found the creature in a shallow gorge, bloodied, breathing hard, covered in claw marks from something almost as large, a rival, or perhaps its own reflection. Apex. Predators rarely accepted competition. It had turned its head when he approached, snarled but too weak to strike. Logan had no sedatives, no barriers, only a field bag of tools and a half-pack of rations. He knelt anyway. "Easy, big guy. I'm not here to finish the job." The eyes glowed, golden, intelligent, watching. Logan reached slowly into his bag. Produced a water canister, held it forward. The creature did not move. He poured water onto a patch of cloth and approached its flank. Blood still oozed slowly from the gash along its ribs. Logan crouched, pressed the cloth to the wound. The creature snarled but did not strike. Its head trembled with exhaustion. Logan spoke softly. "I know. This hurts. Just stay with me." He worked for hours, applied antiseptic foam, sealed the worst of the tears with bioadhesive, fed it tiny strips of dried protein soaked in water. Waited. Watched. The creature accepted it, not gladly, not warmly. But it did not kill him. The next morning it followed. Him? Not close at first, then closer. It watched as he sketched plants, followed as he sampled pollen, stood guard as he recorded bird calls. It snarled at the scouts who passed overhead, swatted one drone from the sky, then returned to his side. Now, Logan sat beside it like an old soldier beside a warhound. The Threxari could not accept it. They ran simulations, scanned for chemical sprays, magnetic pulses, neural disruptors, nothing. This violates known behavioral laws. A senior analyst spat. Not if it's wounded and he treated it, countered another. The room went silent. But it's not. Just tolerating him, said the youngest one. It's protecting him. Logan stood one morning near a shallow creek, took off his shirt, washed in silence. The creature sat 10 meters away. Watching the tree line, a jungle cat leapt from a branch. Venom, dripping from its teeth. The endling moved faster than thought, snapped the cat from the air mid-pounce, crushed its skull in one bite. Logan turned around slowly. You okay, bud? The creature dropped the body, grumbled, licked its claws. Logan chuckled. Yeah, thanks. The Threxari sent another drone. This one cloaked. Silent. The creature looked up. Tracked. It instantly leapt, brought it down with a roar. Logan stood with arms crossed. Really, Rex? That was a new one. We just got that upgrade. The creature sniffed the broken drone. Sat beside it like a dog beside a chewed slipper. The aliens could not understand. They watched, recorded, debated. The council demanded answers. The endling was a myth, a nightmare. Not a companion, not a friend. Yet there it was, following a human through the deadliest jungle in the sector, protecting him, obeying him, loyal to him. How is this possible? The Threxari ambassador hissed. The xenologist played the footage again. Logan patting the creature's flank. We fed it data. We fed it meat. He fed it trust. On the jungle floor, Logan sat before a fire, cooking something over low flames. The creature sat nearby. Steam rising from its back in the night air, Rex. You know what the stars are, he said. The creature rumbled. Yeah, neither do I. Logan smiled. In orbit, a new report flashed red. A third drone destroyed. This one broadcasting through a secure channel. Command. Authorized intervention. But down below, Logan watched the creature curl beside the fire. Gate's eyes closed. Breathing steady, he whispered, You're not a monster, are you? No answer, only silence. Above him, the stars continued to burn. The fire crackled, and in the darkness, something ancient began to change, something that had never known. Warmth. Never. Known trust until now. Logan leaned back, hands behind his head. You're not my pet. You're just my friend. And the endling rested beside him like it had never known another place. The morning mist rolled low over the jungle floor and clung to the leaves like breath held too long. Logan woke with a grunt and sat up slowly, rubbing his face. His back ached. The damp ground had not grown more comfortable overnight. A low growl echoed nearby, not threatening, just a sound like a yawn in a throat, built for crushing bone. Logan turned and smiled. Morning, Rex. You sleep okay? The massive reptilian beast blinked once slowly, then shifted its weight, causing the ferns beneath it to snap. Steam rose from its nostrils as it stretched its forelimbs and let out a deep rumble that made birds scatter. From the canopy, Logan stood slowly, slinging his pack over his shoulder. He tapped a small device on his wrist, which blinked red, then green vitals, still holding steady. Wounds healing fast. You're tougher than anything I've studied before. Even the armor scale is regenerating. That's new. Rex said nothing. Of course, but he stepped beside Logan and kept pace as they moved through the underbrush. They had traveled like this for 3 days. The creature kept close, never too far, never in the way. It responded to Logan's tone, if not his words. When Logan stopped, it stopped. When Logan ran a scan or paused to document plant life, Rex would stand sentry, his nostrils flaring, eyes scanning the jungle with cold gold fire. The deeper they went, the more obvious it became. Rex was not a simple beast. He remembered paths. He avoided quickmire swamps. He sniffed the air and took alternate routes before danger appeared. Once they heard a snapping thud ahead, and Logan moved to investigate, but Rex blocked the way with his body. All right, you win. Logan sat and noted the encounter in his journal. Subject displays consistent signs of learned behavior. No food. Reward given yet remains protective. No signs of training, implied empathy, or primitive emotional bonding. Possible emergent intelligence. He put down the journal and glanced at the massive creature now lying across a log watching him. You know you don't have to stick around, right? I patched you up. You could be anywhere, tearing things apart, scaring locals. But you're still here, Rex. Huffed and flicked his tail. Suit yourself. High above, orbiting satellites tracked their movements. The Threxari observation deck was quiet, save for the constant hum of data scrolls. Commander Vallis stood beside the lead biostrategist as the footage played. You see this behavior. It is not normal. That creature obeys the human's gestures. It mirrors his movements. It waits for his approval before attacking. That is not predator behavior. That is not coincidence, the biostrategist hissed low. Has he modified it? No. No trace of implants. No collars, no invasive neural threads. The human has done nothing. The creature chooses this. The council transcript scrolled silently behind them. The question was clear. Is the human weaponizing apex life forms? Logan paused near a vine wall where bright blue flowers pulsed faintly in the shade. He tapped the edge of a petal. It curled inward at the touch. Fascinating. Rex circled once, then crouched behind Logan, his eyes fixed on the trees. A subtle rustle came from above. Logan dropped to one knee and slowly drew the stun flare from his belt. Long-limbed avian predator launched from the branches, talons outstretched. Rex moved first. In one motion, he surged forward, slammed his shoulder into the tree trunk, and snapped the avian. From the air in his jaws, feathers exploded across the clearing. Logan watched as Rex crunched the body once, then spat it aside and rumbled. Logan nodded. Thanks. That one looked nasty. He crouched beside the remains and studied the broken feathers. That's new. Haven't seen one of these before. Might have to name it after you. Rex snorted and flopped down beside him, curling his tail protectively around the clearing. Logan resumed his notes. Subject displays proactive defense behavior, protects without prompt. 0 aggressive behavior toward me. When the second drone came, Rex spotted it before Logan did. It hovered in stealth mode, nearly silent, almost invisible. Rex lifted his head slowly and tracked it with unblinking eyes. Then with a sudden roar, he launched upward and swatted the drone with enough force to send it. Spinning into the canopy, it crashed somewhere beyond the tree line. Logan turned and sighed. Damn it, Rex, that was another scout. You can't keep doing that. They're going to start getting twitchy. Rex made a low huffing sound and settled back down. The data feed from the drone cut off midstream. Commander Vallis turned to the technician. Was it detected? Affirmative. Terminated. Direct hit. The creature looked straight at the camera before impact, and the human appeared displeased, verbally reprimanded the creature. Vallis turned toward the screen again. This cannot be allowed to continue. They are becoming a unit. Orders came down fast. Prepare a containment protocol, deploy a ground team. Bring the creature in for study. Detain the human if he interferes. Logan never saw the net launcher until it was too late. The team struck just after. Dusk, silent insertion, quadrator deployment, shock nets laced with soporific gas. The jungle screamed as the traps snapped shut. Rex bellowed and thrashed, ripping vines and cracking stone. He fought like a god, bleeding sparks and fury. Logan screamed, "Stop! He's not hostile. Don't do this." They hit Rex with another pulse, then another. The creature sagged, roared, stumbled. Logan ran toward him and caught his head before it struck. The ground, his hands pressed against the scaled jaw. "Stay with me. I got you." "You're okay," Rex growled, but his breath came shallow. His side bled again. The old wound torn, the strike commander stepped forward. "Stand down, human. The specimen is to be relocated for analysis. You are in violation of Concord conservation." Code Logan looked up, his voice like a blade. "He's not a specimen. He's not your experiment. He's alive. He's mine." The commander lifted his rifle. Logan's wrist device lit up with an override signal. Emergency comms pinged to Earth. Command encrypted signal, authorized keywords embedded. Asset compromised, requesting immediate extraction grant clearance. 4 countermeasures. From Orbit Earth Command responded with cold precision. A single drone decloaked over the jungle. Its signal pulsed once, a warning. Release the human and his companion or face consequences. The strike team hesitated. The Threxari Command. Channel buzzed companion. They said companion, not creature, not subject, companion. Rex groaned beneath Logan's hands. His eyes opened briefly. Saw him. Logan whispered, "Hang on, just a little longer. I'm not leaving without you." Then darkness fell like a curtain, and from behind the trees came the sharp footfalls of a new kind of rescue. No words, no symbols, just presence. Earth had sent their answer. The jungle trembled as the strike team froze their weapons, raised their visors glowing with threat but not certainty. The figure that emerged from the trees wore matte black armor, etched with faint silver trim. No insignia, no rank, no visible weapon. Yet every movement spoke of command, of precision, of violence honed to silence. Logan kept his hands pressed to Rex's thick hide. The beast's breathing was shallow, his flanks rising and falling like bellows on the edge of collapse. The armored figure stepped forward, and the jungle seemed to part for him. The lead soldier barked, "Identify yourself. This is a secure operation." The man did not speak. He lifted one hand and made a signal that shimmered faintly in the air. A coded signature broadcast through narrowband encryption. The soldiers paused. Their helmets blinked with sudden alerts. Earth Command override authorization. Level read. The team lead took one step back. Orders just changed. "We are told to stand down." Logan looked up, eyes fierce. "Then help me get him stabilized." Another soldier hesitated, then lowered his rifle and stepped forward. They worked quickly. Injected stabilizers, sealed ruptures with foam, loaded Rex onto a suspended platform that groaned beneath the weight, but held. The armored figure watched without expression, then turned to Logan. "Your lucky command sees value in this." Logan stood wiping blood from his hands. "No. He's lucky I was there before." "Your butchers got to him." The man tilted his head slightly. "You think this is about empathy? This is about precedent. If this works, it rewrites what we know about apex bonding, about evolutionary limits, about control." Logan bristled. "He's not something to be controlled." The man said nothing, then turned away and vanished back into the trees like mist folding into shadow. Extraction followed an hour later. A low-orbit skimmer vessel dropped through the clouds, silent and fast. It cloaked the jungle in blue light as it descended. They loaded Rex gently, carefully, the platform secured with magnetic tethers. Logan climbed aboard and never took his eyes off the creature's flank. His hand rested against the scales. "I told you I wasn't leaving." Rex made a low sound that could have been pain, could have been trust. The skimmer rose and the jungle disappeared beneath the clouds. In orbit, the Threxari delegation demanded answers. The footage had been leaked. Not the full feed, just enough. A human kneeling beside the endling, feeding it by hand, its jaws relaxed, its body still. And then the human whispering words that no creature should understand. But the creature listened and obeyed. "This is impossible," the Threxari ambassador spat. The human envoy replied calmly, "You mean it was?" Until now, a summit was called. Not publicly, not officially. But behind closed doors, the Conquered Council gathered to ask a question that shook the fabric of xenobiology. What if the apex was not the end? What if the apex could choose? The skimmer docked at an orbital medical station, outfitted with containment fields and sterile corridors. Rex was guided into a reinforced bay lined with reactive plating. He growled but did not resist. Logan stayed with him, slept on a cot in the corner, ate beside him, refused debriefings until the creature's vitals stabilized. The med team ran scans, brainwave patterns, heart rhythms, reflex thresholds. They found something they were not prepared for. Mirror neuron activity, synaptic resonance aligned with human emotional frequencies. One doctor whispered, "He feels what the human feels." Another replied, "No. He learns how to feel by watching him." In a private chamber, Logan sat across from a Concord official. The woman wore the neutral uniform of council authority. No emotion, no open opinion, You understand what this means, she said. Logan crossed his arms. I understand you're trying to figure out how to turn him into a weapon. We are trying to understand how you did something no one else has managed across 50 known systems. You bonded with a biological apex. Logan leaned forward. I didn't bond with him. I helped him. I saw a creature in pain and I didn't run, that's all. You want to replicate that. Teach soldiers how to imprint on monsters, but you can't manufacture trust. You earn it. The woman said nothing for a moment, then tapped a datapad and slid it across, then prove it. We're sending you back to the surface with him. Under controlled conditions, Logan looked at the screen, a red zone, full of dangerous fauna. Storm-racked and unstable? This is a test, it's a demonstration. Logan sighed. Fine, but I choose the route. And no kill orders. She nodded, agreed. Rex watched Logan as he prepped gear. His eyes followed every motion. His head tilted when Logan slung the scanner on his back. You ready, big guy? Rex gave a low grunt and stepped beside him. The skimmer dropped them into the stormline. Thunder cracked overhead. Rain lashed like whips. The jungle here was different, older, wilder. They moved fast. Logan guiding. Rex clearing paths with his bulk. They encountered a swarm of bite drones. Rex flattened 3 with a single sweep of his tail. Logan dropped a flare and the rest scattered. They reached the cliff edge just as lightning struck a nearby tree, sending shards of bark in every direction. Logan turned to Rex and pointed there. The ridgeline. We set the beacon there. Get the footage they want. Then we go home. Rex huffed and bounded up the slope. Logan followed. Behind them, something stirred in the underbrush, a quadruped predator with scale armor, and 6 eyes lunged from the ferns, silent. Deadly Logan slipped on the rocks. The beast reared back to strike Rex, tackled it mid-air. The 2 titans rolled and slammed into the cliff wall. Rocks shattered, blood splashed. Logan shouted Rex, back. It's not worth it. But Rex roared and sank his jaws into the creature's neck. Predator shrieked, then fell limp. Rex stood over the corpse, bleeding. Breathing hard, Logan climbed to his side. You're hurt again. You didn't have to do that. Rex turned his head, pressed it lightly to Logan's chest. Logan froze, then placed a hand on the creature's skull. I know. You're telling me I'm yours too. He activated the beacon. A green light pulsed across the ridgeline. Data streamed to orbit man and beast, standing side by side, bloodied but alive. The Threxari analyst said nothing at first. Just watched. Then one whispered, we cannot win against that. Another said, no. But we could learn from it. In the medical bay later, Logan stitched Rex's side. The creature winced, but remained still. You're going to have more scars than me. Rex chuffed. They sat in silence. Then Logan said softly, they're going to ask me to do this again. With others, different species, different threats. They'll want to make this a program. Rex looked at him, but I'll only do it if you come too. We do this together. The creature lowered its head and closed its eyes. Acceptance, understanding, Ibimbabir. Future was uncertain. The politics unstable. The science fragile, but something new had taken root. Not dominance, not control, but choice. Logan looked out the viewport toward the stars. Let's show them what happens when the apex makes a friend. The training dome was silent, but for the faint hum of the climate regulators. Simulated wind swept through synthetic trees, a jungle built from data and memory. Logan adjusted his vest and checked the signal relay. His boots pressed soft prints into the soil. Rex stood beside him, his chest rising slow and calm, his yellow eyes scanning the horizon. You remember this place? Logan asked. Rex huffed and stepped forward, his claws digging into the terrain. It had been 6 weeks since the summit. 6 weeks since the Council had approved the Apex Kinship Protocol. A project not of control, but partnership, based not on obedience, but choice. Rex was the cornerstone. Logan the key now. They faced the first trial a new Apex had been located on. A remote world in the edge sectors. Its behavior unpredictable, its strength formidable. Several scouting units had failed to approach. Some never returned. The Council wanted answers, but more than that, they wanted proof that Logan's bond with Rex was not a miracle, that it could be repeated. The dome flickered and transformed. Simulated terrain shifted. Trees stretched taller. Shadows. Moved with predatory weight, from the edge of the projection stepped the new subject. 7 meters tall, armored with jagged plates of crystalline growths. 4 eyes that glowed like coals. A hiss that cut through bone. Logan tensed. Easy now. Remember, we're not here to fight. Rex took a step forward, placing himself between Logan and the creature. The new apex turned its head and released a sound that shimmered in the air like heat over metal. A challenge, not of territory, but of attention. Rex did not respond with sound. He stared. Logan whispered, "He's waiting. Let him lead." The council watched from the control chamber. Faces stoic, data scrolling. Across screens, metrics of stress, heart rate, aggression. The lead scientist leaned forward. "If this works, we change everything. Not just military doctrine, diplomacy, ecology, even our understanding of sentience." Inside the dome, the second apex circled slowly. Logan moved carefully to the left, lowering his posture. Open hands. No threat. Rex mirrored him. The second apex paused. Its head tilted. It growled and stepped back. Logan stopped. "Okay, that's enough for today. Shut it down." The dome froze. The creature disappeared. A test projection only. Not the real subject. A behavioral avatar built from field scans. Rex snorted and walked back to Logan, his tail low. "You did good, buddy, real good. We're getting closer." The council reviewed the footage again and again. Each time they saw the same thing: mutual awareness, deference without submission, curiosity without hostility. Then the vote came: send Logan and Rex to the actual site. Let them try not. Capture, not subdue. Connect. The transport vessel broke orbit over a world wrapped in violent storms and jagged valleys. Lightning danced across the sky in purple webs. Below them, the terrain pulsed with geothermal heat. Logan stood in the hangar, watching the clouds twist around the peaks. "You sure about this?" asked the mission lead. Logan nodded. "He's ready. So am I." They descended into the atmosphere, buffeted by winds. Shadows moved below them in patterns no one could explain. Herds of things, half seen, half imagined. They landed on a high plateau, cracked stone and thermal vents. The perfect view. Rex sniffed the air and growled. Logan knelt beside him. "Yeah, I feel it too. We're not alone." They waited. Hours passed. Then it came. A shape bigger than either had seen before. Its hide shimmered with volcanic stone. Lava cracks across its ribs. Its eyes were white. Not blind, but ancient. It walked like the mountain moved with it. Rex stood tall but still. Logan whispered, "This is it. No sudden moves." The creature stopped 20 meters away. Its breath came like steam from a vent. Then it lowered its head slightly. A nod. Logan blinked. "Did you see that?" Rex gave a deep rumble in response. The great beast took one step forward. Then another. Not charging, approaching. Logan stood straight. "My name is Logan. This is Rex. We're not your enemies." No response. Just a long silence. Then it reached into a stone crevice and pulled out something. A broken scout drone crushed. Deactivated, it placed the drone on the ground and stepped back. Logan approached slowly, picked it up. The message was clear. "I know what you are, now show me who you are." He placed the drone beside his pack and removed a med kit, took out a regenerator band and laid it down. "A trade," he said. The beast tilted its head, then stepped forward and took the bandit, sniffed it, rumbled, then placed it into a crevice like storing it. Logan stepped back. "That's all we needed. Let's go." Rex turned and they walked slowly toward the ridge. The creature followed. Back at base, the council erupted in low conversation. It followed him. "Voluntarily. We must redefine our entire threat assessment protocols. Do we know what he said to it?" "He didn't say anything. That's the point." It wasn't language. Logan returned with the beast 2 days later. It remained near the perimeter, did not enter, but did not leave. Observers called it unprecedented. Others called it dangerous. Logan called it progress. In the weeks that followed, others came forward. Not just apexes, but handlers, researchers, bonders, not to control, to connect. Rex remained beside Logan through every step. The symbol and the truth. The bond was real, repeatable, not always easy, but possible. Logan wrote his report carefully. It began with 4 words. He chose me first. The council drafted new policy. Apex partnership accords, training centers, observer, missions, guidelines for approach. All based on the principles Logan had proven: choice, respect, trust. But not everyone believed. Whispers rose in the darker corners of the Concord voices that called it manipulation. Or worse, infiltration by instinct. That Apex minds were alien, that no human could truly know their thoughts. One such voice belonged to Commander Thesk, veteran of 40 conflicts, survivor of the Moor siege. He saw danger in every breath, a beast. They're biding their time, he said. They're learning us, planning. And when we let our guard down, they'll break us. He argued for preemptive containment, force projections. Apex colonies isolated from populated worlds. Logan was called before the council to respond. He stood tall. Rex beside him. The hall was filled with silence. You fear what you do not understand, Logan said, but fear is not a strategy. It's a prison. These creatures are not tools, not traps. They are life, intelligent, aware, and they chose us. Thesk growled. You are too close. You can't see the danger. Logan looked at Rex. I see it every day. I see what he could do. I see what he doesn't do. That choice means everything. The council voted again, and this time they voted for unity. The accords were upheld. The program expanded. Thesk resigned. Years passed. The Apex Kinship Project became the foundation of new alliances. On some worlds, the Bonders became diplomats. On others, guardians. Apex partners prevented wars before they started, settled disputes without force, but it was not always perfect. There were still failures, still danger, still mystery. One such mystery came from the far rim. A world with no record, no name. Just a pulse signal received once, a sound not like language, but like a call. Logan reviewed the waveform, played it for Rex. The beast perked up, stood, looked toward the stars. You know that sound? Logan asked. Rex moved to the launch bay door and waited. Logan followed. They were older now, battle-tested, scarred, but not broken, and the stars were still calling. Then let's see who else is out there. The ship drifted through the edge of known space, its hull wrapped in stealth composites, its signal dampened to a whisper. Logan sat in the observation chair, watching the void curl and bend outside. Beside him, Rex lay still, his breath steady, his muscles relaxed but ready. They were alone. The coordinates had led them here, a system that did not exist on any chart. No registration, no beacon, just a ghost pulse. A frequency that hummed in the bones and made sensors flicker. Feels different this time, Logan said. Rex growled softly. You feel it too. Good. That means we're not imagining things. They approached the dark planet. No lights, no structures, just endless rock and ash. Orbit was quiet, no signals, but the pulse grew louder. They descended into the atmosphere. Clouds like oil clung to the air. The land below was jagged, scarred, rivers of cooled lava and broken mountains, a place that remembered fire and pain. They landed in a crater rimmed with obsidian teeth. The center held a dome of black crystal pulsing in time. With the signal, Rex stepped out first. No hesitation, Logan followed, his eyes sharp, his rifle slung loose at his side but not raised. They approached the dome together. It shimmered and split open. A door, an invitation. Inside was silence, and then a voice, not in the air but in their minds. You have come farther than any before. You bring the old blood, the chosen, the unbroken. Logan blinked. Rex stood tall, his head tilted, his eyes glowing faintly. The voice continued. You seek understanding. You bring trust. But are you ready to see what birthed the first bond? Are you ready to know why the Apex choose? Logan stepped forward. Show me. The walls of the dome faded, revealing stars and storms and memory. He saw worlds burning under ancient suns. He saw titans walk the land before language, beasts that ruled not with claws but with thought. He saw one world fracture, and the minds of the titans split. Some chose silence. Others chose dominance, a war without words. A war of instinct. The first bond formed when one titan knelt to another and did not kill. That memory echoed through every Apex line. A seed buried in code and blood and fire. You are the first to wake it, said the voice. Rex turned to Logan. There was something in his gaze, not just loyalty recognition. You are not his master. He is not your weapon. You are equals, mirrors, and you have come to the place where that truth began. The dome darkened. A new figure stepped into the space, twice Rex's size, covered in scars, a mane of bone and crystal. The first Alpha, the origin of the bloodline. It growled and the dome shook. Logan stood. Still. Rex stepped between them, the voice returned. This is not a test, this is remembrance. But if you are false, it will become a trial. Rex approached the first Alpha. They circled each other. Not as enemies. As echoes, Logan watched every step, every breath. The first Alpha lowered its head, and Rex did the same. Not submission, acknowledgement then. The Alpha turned to Logan. It walked forward slowly, stopped inches from him, its breath like heat from a sun. You carry no beast inside. Yet you are more than prey. Logan met its gaze. I am only what he trusts. That's enough. The Alpha roared, not in anger, in acceptance. The dome trembled. The crystal cracked. Light poured from the ceiling. Rex howled. A sound filled with time and memory. The voice now spoke in many tones. You have completed the circle. The bond is now whole, and it will echo across the stars. Outside, the sky changed. Signals burst across the void. Apex minds awakened across the galaxy. Those in chains broke free. Those in fear stood tall, and in that moment Logan felt every one of them. Every thought, every bond. The ship's console lit up. Messages from colonies, from council ships, from rebel outposts. Apex creatures approaching with peace and others coming. With rage, the voice whispered one last time. Not all will accept this new dawn. Some will see only threat. You must be the fire that warms, not the flame that burns. But if they bring war, you will not stand alone. Logan turned to Rex. You ready for this? Rex nodded and stepped into the light. They returned to the ship. The planet already dissolving behind them. The dome crumbling. Its purpose fulfilled. The ship surged forward, guided by new coordinates. Emergency beacons across 3 sectors. Reports of Apex uprisings, hostile engagements. Logan contacted the council. We're seeing a chain reaction. All Apex lines are resonating. They're waking up. The council was divided. Some ordered lockdowns. Others ordered parley, but none could stop it now. The galaxy had changed, and Logan was at the center. They arrived in orbit over the planet Gelvra, a mining world now overrun with hostile. Apex, not bonded, not aware, but afraid and enraged colonists trapped in shelters. Emergency forces overwhelmed Logan, and Rex dropped in without authorization. They landed on the edge of the Red Canyon. Below them, chaos. Creatures smashing machines. Roaring with fear, Logan activated the new transmitter. A signal coded in the domes. Gift. A frequency of truth. Rex amplified it. The creatures stopped. One by one they turned. They saw Logan, then they saw Rexand in him. They saw the echo of the first Alpha. They bowed. The conflict ended in seconds. Logan breathed. This is what we do now. Not fight, remind them. Word spread. The name Logan carried across comms, across minds. Not just as a soldier, as a bridge. More worlds followed. Some fought. Some welcomed Logan, never forced. He offered, and Rex stood beside him on every world years past. The title changed. Logan became Ambassador Prime. Apex liaison. Voice of the bond, but to Rex he was still just the one who brought food and spoke softly. The day came when Logan grew old, his hands slower, his breath shorter, but his mind still clear. Rex never left his side. In his final moment, Logan looked into those golden eyes and smiled. You chose me all those years ago, you knew. Before I did, Rex leaned in close, her deep, low rumble a promise. Logan closed his eyes, and the bond passed into memory, but not into silence, for Rex walked the stars still, visiting bonded pairs, teaching them what Logan had taught. That trust was stronger than fear. That choice was power. That no human walked alone, and wherever Rex stepped, creatures bowed not in fear but in memory, for he was the last echo of the first Alpha and the eternal companion of the first human ever truly chosen.